Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda.
Chemda, you know Keith and the Girl VIP. It's every show we've ever done. Endless bonus shows. Last week on Keith and the Girl, we talk about that with Bianca Brady. That's in your package. Diamond Dogs. Me and the Boys. That's in your package. You know what else is in your package? Brand new. An all new show. You know what? I'm going to show you the artwork right now, Chemda.
Okay. I haven't seen it yet, but I can't even believe this show is happening. It's so exciting.
Boom.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That's your dad.
So it's a new show with myself and my youngest brother, Ken. It's called Daddy Issues. The artwork is his big face holding up one of the newspapers that, of course, he would predict the headlines about.
Oh, my God. You guys are getting more and more bold.
Ken and I would be on the phone, and we just do next thing. We're talking about our life, but next thing you know, we're doing dad impressions to each other. And we do it, and these calls will last hours. And I go, this is so interesting. I think people would love to hear us do literally this for a show. We recorded it last night.
I've come to believe that every time Keith now has a really good conversation, he's turning it into a show. Your VIP package will just have Keith's social life as he adjusts himself. So you guys recorded one last night. How'd it go?
It could have went on even longer than it did. It's so fun. We're going to do it weekly, and I think people are going to dig it.
Your dad is going to be so pleased when he finds out you have every week material for a show about him and the family upbringing. It's so ironic. Your dad's so nuts. And Ken dropped by the chat last night. We do a chat party every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. And I couldn't believe he was there because your siblings used to be more private and they used to be more in like a let's not talk about it state. But you and your brother were doing impersonations. We were hearing stories. People were asking questions. And this dad email thing for the past year and your whole childhood and upbringing is just, it's our soap opera. It's your therapy. It's our soap opera.
Well, Ken is another layer to the dip. You know, you would hear me talk about my dad for years, quite frankly, and be like, oh, this is insane. I wonder how insane it is. And I'm like, it's just as insane as I'm telling you, but okay. Oh, the great American novel came out. Well, this is insane. Okay, but how insane? Oh, the dad emails. Keith is catfishing his dad as Keith's ex-wife. Okay, now that's insane. How insane. And now you have Ken, and we're talking, doing dad impressions with the exact same tone back and forth. Matt Bray went, holy fuck, this is a new level.
It is a new level. It is, because it is exactly like you said, when you talk about it, everyone talks about their upbringing. They exaggerate a little bit. You guys have maybe the most insane background that I've ever heard of. And it's not exaggerated. You all should be studied. And the fact that there's 5 of you, enough to make like enough Petri dishes and beakers work. I don't know why nobody snatched you up. I'm telling you, I'm going to get this as a Netflix special. And then they're going to fucking CAT scan everything, because I don't know why you guys can even have regular conversations with normal human beings to the level that you can. But I don't know. I feel like now this podcast is a study of your childhood, you crazy people. The fact that you compared your childhood to Children of the Corn, perfect. That is exactly right.
You can hear today's guest laughing in the background like, holy fuck, this guy's a mess. In your VIP package, there it is, Daddy Issues. You're going to dig it.
To get our VIP program, to become our VIP, go to keithandthegirl.com/VIP. If you have our app, all of it is set up right there for you. Everything's under Keith and the Girl.
I love the app because you can hear us on the go when you go to the bathroom, the kitchen, the living room, the bedroom, the kitchen. It's right there for you so you can do your travels. All right. Today's guest was a political correspondent on Redacted tonight. We were talking to Lee Camp not too long ago. Featured in the New York Times, the LA Times, the Huffington Post, Comedy Central. The podcast you want to download is called Take Your Pills, Psychopath. John,
he's allowed to say that.
He is allowed to say that.
I am.
John F. O'Donnell. How you doing, JFOD?
Hey, everybody. I'm doing all right. No, I was laughing because I'd like him to basically gave you the backhanded compliment of being like, wow, any level of socialization that you have of being a competent person to interact with others is a testament to your will of character. Relative.
I have seen Keith went to get milk. He came back with milk. That was able to be done with this upbringing, John, is fascinating to us.
Yeah,
Truly amazing.
all of our emotional labor towards Keith in the last 15 or so years, now I'm just like, okay, maybe he needed a little hand. Like, maybe it's fair. Maybe this one, he gets a pass.
You're thriving,
said,
Keith.
Thank you. Well, people say, during these crazy times, you got to check on people. How are your friends doing? I just found out a buddy of mine passed away that I didn't talk to recently. And I think, all right, let's do some health checks. Who I don't want to say needs it, but who are the right people to call? And I'm like, oh, JFOD, but I don't want to do it one-on-one. JFOD, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm glad we can connect through the buffer of Fremde in a public forum podcast where you feel comfortable hanging out with me.
But like I said, this sounds like a terrible thing for Keith to say, but we're gonna call it Keith normal. And for Keith normal, to have you on the show means he's hanging out with you. So a lot of people are saying right now, if I'm not texting you, if I'm not calling you, I learned that, we're not as close as we are. People are really taking their time to pick who they're going to give their time to during the pandemic. And I think this is Keith's way of going, I want to talk to you. I just want to record it because that's how I work my life.
In fact, JFOD, if you want to finally get that lunch going we were always talking about, just grab something real quick from your fridge right now. We'll kill two birds.
Virtual lunch. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever you want. Whatever you want to eat.
That sounds good to me. Plus, I never wanted to play poker with you anyway. You know what I mean?
I have an ace and a king. What do you got?
I have 3 threes. Actually, as I'm saying that, I'm like staring at I'm like, okay, so I'm in Jersey at my mom's house. Where I came here in like the middle of March, like a week or so before things started at least publicly ramping up. And so as I was saying that, trying to think of what poker thing to play, I'm like staring at old like baseball cards and basketball cards. I've been like thrust back to like the middle school version of my life where I'm just sort of like sitting here. I'm surrounded by baseball cards. I have a bunch of like Star Wars, like original figures right here and stuff like that. It's like, it's weird, but I feel very detached from so many things. And thank goodness I have some work to do and stuff like that, because outside of that, I'd be like completely miserable, Do
they talk to each other, the figures or the cards?
They do, mostly the cards.
They were having
mostly they're like
Obi-Wan.
Mostly they're like, look, if Keith wants to have you on the podcast, clearly he values you as a friend and we want to hang out. And that you feel secure in your relationship with Fremde, even though you feel like digitally you feel like removed from her. So that's been making you feel insecure. But that's your own thing, John. Like when you don't know what's going on, the mind goes to a speculative place, and it usually goes to a really negative speculative place. And people are living their own lives the way they have to live them, John. We're in a pandemic, so they're not really talking to me.
When did you move to your mom's? Like mid-March?
Yeah, I got out of New York in like the middle of March, and I came to Jersey, and so I'm here with my mother and my brother, and and then things started really ramping up pretty quickly. I basically thought in my situation, I was going to be, essentially alone in a very small apartment, and it's like my apartment was really clean, but the building I'm in was not. It's very close to like humongous buildings, densely populated. I was like, you know what? If I have an opportunity to be with family in Jersey, I should go be there for them, and I can be with them too, and so that's what I did.
And doesn't it feel good to send the check to the place that you're not staying at in New York?
That's sucked. Fun. Yeah. I have paid rent for the past 2 months in a place I have not been. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we noticed that. So we have a landlord for the studio and a landlord for our own spaces. I paid the rent, and they texted me like, "Hey, thanks. It's hope you're doing okay." And then when the other landlord was like, "Hey, wanted to make sure that we're getting your check," I'm like, "Okay, I think I have the upper hand here." And everybody sit down. Like, mind your attitude right now, because you're getting the stimulus check and you're also very scared that I'm going to skip town right now. So everybody calm yourself.
Yeah, I wanted a bigger thank you these last 2 months, and I didn't get it as a regular thank you. And I just want to be like, you didn't know. Just say you didn't know. Okay, I know.
Exactly. I mean, that's a complicated thing because a good percentage of people are not able to pay rent. So they're not. nobody ever wanted to everybody was dancing around the idea of rent forgiveness because the ripple effect of that. So the stopgap measure is this 3 months you can't be evicted. But then that kind of just kicks it down the road a little bit. So then after this 3 months happens, all the people that couldn't pay, it's not like the landlords are going to then of their own volition forgive that rent. And then then what sort of happens if then everybody can't pay and then people aren't getting their rents and then landlords can't pay their mortgages, and the ripple effect of that is sort of economically what people are worried about 3 months from now.
Sure. Now, when you move into your parents' house and the whole world isn't necessarily on board to your way of thinking, does your mom say, yeah, that'd be nice, but let's check the news? Just things change every day. So you stay there. We'll check the news together.
Oh, you're thinking I'm not like out to lunch with what I'm thinking about what's going on here.
Well, obviously you were right. But were your mom and your brother on board as fast as you were? Like, yeah, we got to pick a place now.
Oh, no, I think that, well, I mean, they stay informed and know what's going on, but also I think that they just like, they kind of go with the flow with things better than I do, where it's like, it's very clear that we all get along, but they definitely get along with each other better with each other than they do with me. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty clear that they like each other better than me, although still liking me. But
you got to get Obi-Wan to talk to them.
I do
straighten it out.
I do. I got to get this this random like Larry Bird, Magic Johnson basketball card playing like in the same card together to do something for me.
You know what's funny is there's such a big deal in people going like, all of my kids are the best. I don't love any one kid more than the other. And that's always the story that was told. But let's be honest. We all have siblings here. There's absolutely a favorite. It happens naturally. It happens between everybody. And there's no such thing as not having a favorite. There is no parent who doesn't kind of like one more than the other because they click.
Yeah, maybe it's not even like love one more than the other, but it's just like one more than the other.
Yeah.
I used to say that my vibe of it was that my mom liked my brother a little bit more than me, and my dad liked me a little bit more than my brother. But now I'm pretty convinced that they both like my brother a little bit more than me. Number one.
I know.
And
I know my little brother's a favorite.
Yeah, and I used to kind of mess with my mom where I'd be like, who do you love more, me or my younger brother? And she said, I'd love you guys the same. But I would be like, well, I'm older, so you've had more time to love me. So the fact that you love us the same means then you love
more the same.
More, yeah. And she's like, what are you talking about? But I used to try to get her into that little mind trap when I was like a kid.
That's funny.
But then this morning he takes the Yoda doll and he's like, good, our waffles better, our pancakes. Get out of here.
Get out of here.
I like the other one. That. It's too much.
Dude, look, I got a Nolan Ryan card from 1979 right here.
Do you think you're on an eBay show? What's happening here?
I don't know, man. I'm just sitting at my little desk. No, you have to understand. It's like my room has been turned in mostly into like a storage room at this point. Like this isn't even where I was for high school. This was like my middle school room. So I basically moved stuff away to just have my desk so I can work on my podcast and newsletter and YouTube and stuff like that. But I'm like surrounded by like boxes of baseball cards, like old random books. And then for some reason, I've got the 9/11 commission report is here too.
Of course, sure.
Which I think maybe my brother or my mom got. So it's like, which I just thought is kind of funny for me to have. But like I'm looking at this desk and there's old stickers on it, like Halloween puffy stickers from probably like the late 80s.
You're such a show off. You got puffy stickers in the 80s? Wow, man. Nice life.
Yeah, well, really part of the 1%.
Why are they giving you that 9/11 book? Honestly, it'd be like you wake up and next to you is like, what the government doesn't want you to know. Why are they fucking with you?
Well, see, you know what it is? I want to be like, Keith, whatever. I can just read whatever and it's not going to affect me, but I'd be totally lying because I watched, I was doing just fine, like relatively speaking, fine enough, like in this pandemic, trying to do all the things that I can to stay as well as I can, as in like, having my creative outlet, doing a meditative practice, doing some yoga, getting outside, trying to have a consistent schedule. Sometimes I would, some days I would do considerably better than others, but I was doing all right. Then I watched this documentary called The Panama Papers, which is like, really, really interesting. It's like this deep dive explanation of how this offshoring of money works and how like all these rich people and heads of state and stuff like that. And, money launderers kind of get all of the money out of the country and do this sort of offshoring, and how massive it is, and how it's not the sort of thing where it's just an aspect of the economy, like a lot of people thought, where it actually is the economy. And it's kind of like created for us this two-tier world where there actually is this kind of neo-feudal system where all of us are not in that gentried class. We're all just these sort of like wage slave peons or whatever. So I'm like watching this, and then I'm kind of like connecting dots with that to the fact that Delaware is our largest tax shelter in the country, and that Joe Biden was like the senator from Delaware for 36 years, and what that means, and how he's a particular flavor of money laundering, and then like Trump is a different flavor of it, So it was like I was spinning out,
Here's what's fun about that. If I were to watch it, I would only pick up 10% of information, enough to go, people suck. But I can't soak in that much information. But if I had your brain and all you would have to do is tell me once and the calculations would happen, wouldn't you now know how to do all that stuff? But instead you're like, oh, it's so sad that people know how to do that stuff. It's like you could probably be the best criminal, but instead you're just mad at criminals.
Well, I'm glad I have a moral compass, to like look at it like that. Yeah, I'm glad I don't use my megalomaniacal capabilities in order to, kind of like reap the benefits for myself at the expense of regular people all over the world. Chemda, you're right. It is annoying, but
people have trouble sleeping as it is. And you pick and watch these documentaries for fun. Then you go to bed and you can't help it. Nolan Ryan is somehow involved now,
Shut up. Nolan Ryan is a saint. He's an American treasure. And if you're not familiar, he was a great pitcher, kids. No, but you're right. This is what it was. It's a frustrating thing because I think what actually would happen with that, the reason that this
what I was saying is, instead of learning how to be angry with people, like, learn how to do your taxes better. Like, watch that documentary.
No, agreed. It's almost like, why would I subject myself to this during this time? But it was weird. It was like, in my head, I was like, oh, I wanted to know more about the Panama Papers. I never paid too close to this story when it came out a few years ago, right? And then I just kept kind of thinking about that, honestly, in the weeks leading up to this. And then I went on to like Hulu, I clicked like browse movies, and right there in the top row was this thing about it, and I was like, oh, I'll just watch this.
Like a sign from God, right?
Yeah, like a sign from the conspiracy theory gods. Yeah.
Just like a sign from Google. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Just like the algorithm just gaining its next level of understanding.
Do you think wanting your mom's approval, and I assume a sibling, or how many siblings do you have? One? More?
I have a brother, and then I have a stepbrother and stepsister.
Okay, so wanting their approval, do you think it's why you made up personalities so that they'd have to like at least one of them? Like, okay, Mom, but you're gonna like Ja. Everyone likes fucking Ja.
Couple of things on that. No, okay. I don't feel like I'm seeking their approval, and I don't think that the sort of manic delusions that my mind takes is making up separate personalities. So I think what you said there was like funny and clever, but
not at all true.
But not at all true.
Okay.
I didn't think like becoming Ja, but like, oh, I heard that my mom likes reggae music.
It was all worth it. All the ignorance that Keith just spewed was all worth it for him to go, everybody likes Ja.
Yeah. Everybody does. I mean, the music is very relaxing.
The last time JFOD was on, it was September 17th. You can find all his appearances at keithandthegirl.com/JFOD. This one was called Goofy Grapes. He told that story about speaking of money. Interesting. But anyways, you can hear about that there. And we do sum up all the different, adventures, all the different adventures he had. What do we do now for self-care that you can't leave the house? Do you think about that?
Yeah. I mean, in a way, I do feel lucky that I am here in suburban New Jersey. I mean, we live in like, I guess it's called a townhouse or a condominium. So it's like a kind of like housing development, Right. So we've got a little outdoor space, in the backyard. And then also it's the sort of thing where across the street from where I live, there's this big sort of field. It's like a big ball field where I guess they play Little League and stuff like that. And there's some
Ooh, do you
basketball
take your
courts.
baseball cards and then go trade in the park, but like from 6 feet, you just like frisbee it over to them?
He puts a baseball card on first base. He throws the card that's the pitcher.
You know what, guys? I haven't done that yet, but cut to a couple more months being out here, I'll let you know. But so that whole field is there, and it's like for a couple of weeks, no one was going there because theoretically it's like closed, but there's like nobody there. So it's like if it's a nice day and I need to get out and do something, I go and I'll take like a long walk around there. So it's like I have that ability to go do that. I have projects to work on. Like, thank goodness before this happened, I'd gotten going with some projects with this podcast and newsletter and stuff like that, because otherwise I would really feel I am missing the live performance component a lot. I realize how much of I already knew how much of a privilege it was to get to do stand up, to get to go in front of a group of people and make them laugh and stuff like that, and how there's not much room for kind of like sympathy for that being taken away. But if that is something that you are used to for like kind of the rhythm of your life, for that sort of expelling that kind of energy and getting that kind of response back, for that to be taken away does suck. So, I mean, for me to stay well, I have to, no matter what, get enough sleep. Like, that's important. Unfortunately, my sleep pattern has been really off. It's been really difficult for me to maintain a consistent sleep pattern. I've been trying. Sometimes I'll slip back into it, but then I'll slip out of it. But I always make sure
I try to do a little light reading, quick 9/11 commission report. By the way, that book's filled with words. Not everybody knows that. So I read the whole thing.
By the way, the baseball card collection just reminds me, Xerxes told me that he used to as a kid, and he wasn't really ever into baseball, but when we were kids, baseball cards were everywhere. They were being traded. He had a box full, and some had never been opened, and, it was very collector's item sort of thing. And one day he comes home and he's like, "Where's the box of baseball cards?" And his mom goes, "Oh, yeah, I threw them out. You never play with them."
Whoa. That must have been horrifying. That must have been traumatizing. That was actually trauma for a kid to do that.
Like, how? But you decided I don't play with them. How would you even know? Am I calling in my buddies to have a poker game type baseball thing? Like, do you even know what playing with baseball cards looks like? Right. I don't. That's so bananas. That's crazy.
To me. Because I'll tell you, it's like I haven't looked at some of these cards in over 20 years. But if my mom threw them all away, I would be really upset. I'm not even sure why.
And he was still a kid.
Yeah. That's actually probably a trauma he's still working through. So you should really talk to him about that.
Well, speaking of family, my parents, they talk to us siblings. There's 5 of us. Still like we're little kids. And it's because they once had to wipe my asshole when I was, I'm embarrassed to say, 1.5 years old. So they don't think there's any way I evolved from that. Does your mom keep worrying like, are you somebody else now? Is John still in there? Hello? Is John still in those eyeballs? Like, and you're like, Mom, that was 6 months ago. Are we going to do this every day? Yes, I am your son, John. I'm going upstairs to do a podcast called Take Your Pill Psychopath. I know, son, you have a podcast, but it's still you, right? Everybody's listening. Yes. Oh, do you have another show? Yeah, Keith and the Girl. Yes, Keith and the Girl. Sure. Okay, but come down for dinner then and let me know you're still in those highs, okay? Love you.
So
no.
What Keith's question is
okay. Now I got the answer.
Keith's question is, hey, does your mom and everybody else in your life treat you like I do? Or is it just
but he tried to get crafty about it, basically saying like, does your mom infantilize you like my father infantilizes me? But instead, she was like, does your mom check in with you? Yeah, but okay. So no, yes and no. Okay, so like no, in the fact that she doesn't infantilize me like your father does to you. I'm
right.
sure.
Do you have to look at a flashlight before a discussion? Do you have to look into a flashlight to the left, to the right? or you just talk and that's how it starts?
What you mean for like motor skill? Like
Yeah, I mean, whatever they call it. Yeah.
What
For dinner time,
what
6
sort of
p.m.
like
I check.
what sort of weird
I check.
fucked up like version of like a horror film have you put together that you think it is for
Family
me to
eye
live
check.
in the day
And
to
then you
day?
notice, like, with your one brother, the eye check's like, okay, real quick. Okay, you're good. And then with you, like, it's a lot longer. All right, now touch your nose. Like, Mom didn't have to do it.
So basically,
they make me watch The Ring, and then if I say I don't relate to the movie, they know I'm not doing well.
But do you like that Keith takes one mental illness and just like puts everything he knows about every mental illness plus addictive behavior and then goes, is this what it's like?
Yeah, no, he's been doing it for years. I think it's awesome. I think it's just really very forward thinking. I think it's really good about reducing stigma about the differences in mental health issues and how there's a spectrum of it and how even people that don't have a clinical diagnosis probably have tendencies towards these things. I think if there's one word I can use to describe Keith, it's nuance.
Well, you see the news. Nobody knows what's going on day to day. So if they went, I have all the answers on Alzheimer's. Well, do ya? Or maybe forward think.
I'll tell you, when you get into page 350,
I'm sorry. Who am I talking to?
Well, when you get to page 350 of the 9/11 Commission report, it really does start to reveal some really interesting things about the coronavirus.
Did you not? Were you able? Like, you can't. I mean, any normal human being would think this. I would think. Did you catch yourself going, "What if this virus isn't real? Are we supposed to be inside for a reason I don't know about? Oh, it's something I can't see. What a fucking coincidence." How did the world get
I'll tell you the truth.
How did
what
the world
happens
get
is
so on board so fast?
Well, I'll tell you the absolute truth is that the thing that gets really frustrating is that it's like, so no, I don't believe that it's like a fictitious thing. I believe that it was, it was like, it happened. It was like contracted in animals and then it jumped species and stuff like that. Like most scientists think. I don't think it was some sort of lab thing either by China or by the US, because there's conspiracy theories on both sides of that sort of thing. Right. The thing though, that did trip me up and really I find frustrating is the fact that whenever one of these tragic things happens, whether it be coronavirus, whether it be say like a hurricane or something in Puerto Rico and stuff like that, there's always powers in place that are ready to pounce on this and exploit it and make so much money off of it. Like, for example, it's called the shock doctrine. It's like basically once there's this kind of shock to the system in sort of something like this, where there's this economic crisis, then all of these sort of entities can come in and profit off of it, as in what they tried to do in Puerto Rico with privatizing water and stuff like that. And if you look at these bailouts, the way that they're going down, the further kind of upward redistribution of wealth that's going to happen because of these bailouts is like 10 times more than even what happened after the 2008 bailouts and financial crisis. So when you start seeing that, then you're like, oh, wait a second. If these entities are benefiting from that, I guess it behooves them to maybe create this thing. And then you take that, you start swallowing the black pill and you take that one extra step towards that. So no, I don't believe it, but I can understand why people do.
So I've thought, and I agree with you, and I've thought of a trippier version of an answer to your question, Keith, which is, if sometimes I believe that we are in a simulation and I am building this world based on the simulation's calculations, I guess. And so, and this is very egotistical because I think it's my world and I'm creating it, right? So when you guys are not in front of me, nothing's even happening. Does that make sense?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me in any version of your world. I really appreciate that. That makes me feel good about myself.
Thank you for being here and that I manifested you, apparently.
Yeah, I'm going to say you're really good at manifesting when it comes to me, really shitty at manifesting when it comes to Keith. And you guys have been working together for 15 years.
But that's exactly my question. When I start tripping on that, I'm just like, why would I manifest this? And I sincerely ask myself that question, like, why would I manifest Keith? What the fuck is wrong with me? Why would I manifest a pandemic? Am I scared to go out? And I created this world where I'm forced to stay in and it's just all in my head. And then I just get a little less high and I just go to sleep.
You actually believe that though?
No, it just feels sometimes like I just want to think of all possibilities, even as crazy as they are. And then, even if they're not real, I'm still asking myself, questions that I can answer, even if it's not directly that question. So no, I did not manifest a pandemic, but why is this okay for me, and why am I still all right, and why is this fine, and why would this be good, and just so I could stay positive. Does that make sense?
JFOD, you stopped smoking weed, right? Okay.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
All right. And you're looking and sounding great. Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Yeah,
no, because I was going to say, Chemda, that's like more of an egotistical thing that I've even thought about when I've been like thoroughly convinced that I'm the second coming.
Absolutely. As godlike as you have felt, I created this. I created you, and you think that you're God. So, okay.
Can I tell you guys?
Give me those pills, psychopath.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, crazy people, what I do when I need to focus. Okay, sitting there creating the world of shit, and I don't know, you're John F. Kennedy. I play the game Best Fiends.
Yes,
Best Fiends is an app on your phone. It keeps me sane. It's a puzzle game, but it's for adults. But there's cool music and graphics, and I love it. You'll see. It's free to download. Best Fiends. I play it. My friends play it. In fact, it's going to be my next podcast, just me and Ken playing this game for hours. I love Best Fiends. You're going to love it. 100 million downloads, tons of 5-star reviews. Best Fiends is a must play. It's free to download on the Apple App Store or Google Play. That's Friends without the R. Best Fiends. Hours of fun right at your fingertips. You can even play offline. I see people writing on social media, bored, ready to kill myself. Fuck my mom. Take a second and play Best Fiends. You'll be like, oh, life is worth living. Okay? Best Fiends. You're going to love it. I love it. I love Best Fiends. Thank you. JFOD, let me ask you.
I'm sold, dude. I thought you were going to say when you like to calm down, you just rub one out, drink a beer, and watch some fucking football, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't drink anymore. So I have Best Fiends. Yes. I don't know legally if I could say it's going to help you with sobriety, but when I need to get my mind off something, I just plug it in, beep, beep, beep. I beat the slugs, you'll see, and champion. Yeah, it's all right there. I just read that human trials for experimental vaccines are about to begin. Is this a trick, JFOD?
I have not, I'll be honest, just in general, I've not been paying too close attention to the news. Like I've not even watched one full Trump talk or whatever about it, which I'm actually happy about. So in terms of human trials for the vaccine, if they say they're moving forward, like I hope that they are, I hope that they're helpful,
New York City is offering prisoners at Rikers Island $6 an hour, which is a lot, for them, and personal protective equipment if they agree to help dig mass graves for people dying from the coronavirus.
Oh God, I heard about that one. That's like the most horrifying story I could think of because it combines, it's like combines slave labor with mass death. It's like, fuck. It's like, yeah, they're getting $6 an hour. That's still, indentured servitude wages that are only seen as a lot relative to the exorbitantly low, absurdly low money that they get for stuff beforehand, which is like this mass incarceration thing before this pandemic. It's, it's called like the new Jim Crow. It's the newer incarnation of slave labor, is that sort of thing that's helping our economy go. So now you
basically have to tell the prisoners like, hey, we're going to pay you $6 an hour, and then say that's a lot for you. So why wouldn't you do this? You're sitting there in your cell all day. Would you like to go outside? But you have to dig graves. And then if you say no, it's totally going to be cool. We're cool with it. Yeah, we're cool with it. Hey, go to the bathroom whenever you want. Whatever. We're cool.
Yeah. Also, another sad aspect is that from what I've read, a lot of inmates are thrilled to get to work. They're actually thrilled about it for that money.
Yeah, and sure. a lot of people in cults are very happy to get the grain of rice that they do. It's
agreed. It's a messed up situation. Yeah. It's really, really messed up. Yeah. But Keith, I'm glad that you brought up that story.
I mean, I'll talk to you about the one time you thought you were a Hindu princess. I just didn't want to.
Hindu princess? No, I went. Keith, this is so funny for me to correct this. This is just a funny thing. Keith, Hindu princess.
It always goes somewhere, Kenda. It always goes somewhere, doesn't it?
I know, but this is funny. Keith, Hindu princess? Are you crazy? It was the time I drove to a Hindu temple to crash a Hindu woman's 50th birthday party because I thought she wanted me to be there. Come on. Get with it.
How did you find out about the invite?
There was a flyer on campus. I was in college. There was a flyer. And it said this prominent Hindu woman's 50th birthday was happening. At the time, I was like, oh, I'm a special guy. She's going to want me there. I drove there. I went in.
But I'm sorry. Where's the flyer, though? It's for everybody?
Yeah, it was just like posted like on like a bulletin board.
As an invite, or just as, by the way, this will be closed because the Hindu princess is going to be here?
It wasn't like a this will be closed thing. It was just sort of, I don't know if it was a general invite or what, but it was.
You know what's great about this story is that's a minor detail, whether you were invited. Right.
Well, great. I definitely wasn't invited, but I definitely wasn't invited. I mean, it was actually the first time that I was manic. So I was in college. This was like 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. And there was this flyer saying that her birthday celebration was happening at this day and time in this place. So whether that meant it was open to the public or what, I don't know. But when I got there, I drove like 30 miles to get there. Like when I went into this Hindu temple, I didn't know it was going to be in a Hindu temple, but I went into this Hindu temple. It was all Indian people dressed up like very beautifully, and then me. And I was so overwhelmed with emotion. I took my shirt off and went into like a bridge, like in the middle of the temple, like right in front of where her and her family were like on this like raised platform dancing. And I went into this bridge, and then this guy.
Sorry, what does that mean?
Like a back bend?
Like a back bend, yeah. Like where you know what I mean? Like a yoga move, like a
By the way, very impressive.
I can actually still do the back bend. I can still do it. I've been doing my own.
You can. It's so unnerving. It was a deleted scene in The Exorcist, but JFOD can do it.
So I did
at
that.
A wedding.
Yeah.
Do you know why you chose a back bend? Did it have to do with like yoga related stereotypes, or not even stereotypes, just
not at the time, because I wasn't into yoga at the time. Like I didn't know anything about yoga.
You were just into back bends.
He's like, am I supposed to bow? Well, this is the ultimate bow.
I
respect your culture.
I think I was so overcome with like the emotion and energy of being there that it just felt like that was the way that I needed to position my body in order to, let all that energy kind of course through me or whatever.
But is it weird of me to say know. Like,
I mean, I can't.
Okay.
I totally get it. I totally get it. Yeah, because sometimes I think like, wouldn't it be great to sit differently in this place? And if we all decided that we're going to do that and not judge each other for it, everyone would be like, some people would be in a back bend, some people would be in down dog, and we'd all be enjoying ourselves.
Yeah, I was just opening my solar plexus to the universal energy or whatever of what was going on. So anyway, this guy starts tugging at my arm. He's like, hey, you can't be here. And then I go, I can't remember the woman's name, but I go, this woman, she wants me to be here. And then he kind of backed away for whatever reason. Then the next thing I remember.
For whatever reason.
Yeah.
Right, you just said the bride wants me here. That's not a good reason.
50th birthday party. Prominent Hindu woman.
I keep thinking it's a wedding. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, like you're making it weird, dude. But so then a little bit later, what I remember is that woman, she invited me to sit down and have dinner with her family. So I'm sitting down with them and I'm eating. And she said to me, she goes, I believe that Krishna sent you to me as a gift for my 50th birthday.
See, these people, they think they're helping, right? And they're only making it worse.
No, that was not helping. That was like my insanity validated, her insanity validated. Like we really acted to reinforce each other's belief systems in that moment. No offense, entirety of the Hindu religion, but you know what I mean? Right? Crazy. And this is how fucked my life is.
What were you wearing, by the way? Like a t-shirt?
I think I was just wearing like regular, I can't remember, but I remember all I had to do was take off one layer to get my shirt off. So I think I was wearing like a t-shirt and jeans or something.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was like the only person not dressed up and the only white person in there. Like I was not supposed to be in there. And then I hadn't thought about that or told that story for so long. And I remember I was hanging out with my friend Lee. We were in like Portland or something, and somehow it came up, or I told him that story. And then I was like, yeah, I completely forgot about that. And he's like, you forgot about that? How the fuck did you forget about something that is crazier than has happened to most people? I was like, holy shit, you're right. I can't believe I forgot about that, which is like similar to this thing that I messaged you guys about, this a call for an uprising. These people thinking that I'm this like Christian revolutionary conspiracy theory YouTube guy. I remember when I found out about that, and then I forgot about it. And then I thought about it again, forgot about it, only told a couple people, forgot about it, and then remembered. And I was like, oh, I should look at some of these videos. And then I did, and I saw that they have a clip of when I'm on with you guys. But it's like my life has been so whacked out in so many ways that other things that for people would be such a like, yeah, I'm going to make this kind of a central memory or thing in my life, I just let kind of like drift past.
So somebody made multiple videos of you, and I saw one of them, and I don't really know what his end game is, but I think it's supposed to make it look like keep an eye on this guy, that guy being you. And you'd say like, well, I keep an eye on money situations, and then it goes money situation, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to get out of this other than obviously John's a bad guy. Well, what's going on? Congrats, by the way.
See, I watched the video and it was very confusing because it seems like the person who's creating these videos and making it seem like this is you. First of all, it is you. He's taking clips of you. And second, it sounds like he's on your side, but I can't tell. So I don't know what to make of this. He's sort of promoting your message. You are saying this stuff, right?
I don't think that he's on my side. Okay, I think first of all, we need to understand who they think I am. There's like a very popular or somewhat popular YouTube channel that I've actually watched very, very few of the videos because I just don't want to go down the rabbit holes that this guy's creating. Like, but I did feel like I feel like I have to watch something to have some sort of sense of what this thing is. It's like the YouTube channel is called A Call for an Uprising. And this guy is like kind of like a Christian warrior conspiracy theory type of guy. Like he thinks that the coronavirus thing is like something that they've been planning for years and they're using as psychological warfare to see if they can kind of like, you know, scare us and convince us to stay in. And a lot of people that are getting sick are convincing themselves that they're sick and all sorts of stuff or whatever. So he goes down all of these kind of conspiratorial rabbit holes. He believes in like the Illuminati every place, like Beyonce being in the Illuminati, all of this sort of stuff. Like, so it's like this real kind of black pill sort of world. And so somehow it's been floated that people think that my voice and his voice sound similar because he never shows any images of himself. But from my perspective, our voices don't sound similar at all. But I don't know. So now people are then saying like, oh, this A Call for an Uprising guy is really this like godless shill like John F. O'Donnell. Like, so people either see
like you're making videos of yourself, right?
No, like I'm making videos pretending to be like a Christian, like telling like truther guy about this stuff, but I'm really not. I'm using that to manipulate these people to build a YouTube channel to get views and make money where I'm like a fake Christian. So anytime that they like see me, they're like, no, this. So then so then there's two things people think, neither of which shine favorably on me. One, that this guy is a fake and I'm the fake, and the fake is this evil demon piece of shit with my bullshit content.
Right. Now I know. Sorry, I know the answer and kind of knows. Everybody knows, but just might as well ask it. Right? Is there a chance?
No,
no, right. That's what I started with. I didn't think so.
You know why? Shut up, Keith. You know why? Because I'd be way better at building my own personal YouTube page in terms of subscribers. Because he's got like 800,000 between his two channels, whatever. Right. But then, so the second thing though, is then there's people that don't believe that I'm him. They don't believe that the voices are the same and stuff like that, but they don't believe it thinking like, no, like he's not, John's not this crazy conspiracy theory guy. They think like, oh no, A Call for an Uprising isn't this guy. They're just using this guy to try to discredit A Call for an Uprising. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's
No,
still
no,
It's weird,
confusing
right?
to me. Is that ridiculous? I can't understand it
Nobody,
completely.
basically, nobody is saying, "Hey, John, this ridiculous channel thinks that you're the voice of it." They're either saying, "Hey, this ridiculous channel, John, that we believe in, like John really is the voice behind of it, and he tricked us because this guy's content, he's not really of God." They either think that, or they think I'm like a plant, or like a I'm like a false flag operation to discredit the truth that he's saying by them presenting them as being me.
And then they give your name. So has that brought you any responses, like on social media or anything? That are you getting any kind of threat or followers? What's
Well,
the
here's the truly sad part of it is that so I've recently been like revamping my YouTube page that was like, dormant for a long time. And I'll tell you what, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but if you leave a YouTube page dormant for about like 7 years or so and then start uploading videos, the algorithm doesn't really shine favorably upon you.
Okay.
That's just that's YouTube for dummies right there. But so I'm uploading my videos and some people are watching them and stuff, but I'm noticing, well, wow, the people that are watching them in the comments I'm getting like predominantly are people like trolling me about being a call for an uprising. So my videos that I'm putting up, stand-up clips or like clips from Redacted that I'm pulling down and putting back up on my page from clips that I did for the show. Most of the people that are responding and are leaving comments are all a call for an uprising people. So they're kind of like calling me out for being this fake shill and stuff like that. And it's kind of become this thing where anytime I upload a video, pretty much the majority of the attention I get are not from fans of, say, Redacted or Keith and the Girl, but from people from a call for an uprising.
they are taking a lot of clips that they don't own. Would you be able to, or would you want to take it down?
Well, then part of me initially was just not responding to any of the comments because I was like, oh, this is messed up, but this is also really, really funny that people are making these bizarre mashup videos of like, clips of this person's audio with things of me, from stand-up clips or from things I did for Redacted. And then, of course, because Redacted was on a Russian-funded network, then that creates another level of conspiracy theory for people where they're like, a call for an uprising is a Russian agent, so people's heads are fucking going nuts on this sort of thing. So I'm finding it kind of funny. But then I realized, I was like, okay, this is actually kind of too much of my attention is now going into this. So I'm just going to figure out how to try to nip it in the bud. I don't want them to delete the videos because I think the videos are really funny. And like, they're kind of, in a way, it's a weird badge of honor. Like Keith saying, congratulations. Like, and somehow I've achieved enough to become the object of a Christian conspiracy theory YouTube channel alter ego. You know what I mean? That's, you can't make that up.
What if you have the videos on your site, and then on the bottom somewhere you have a button that says donate and you rate support the cause?
Oh, and then I sort of like filter out that a call for an uprising money into that youtube.com/JFOD comedy money. Oh, I see. I will tell you though, I did figure out how to pretty much nip it in the bud. I replied to every comment, no matter how mean their comments were. I just replied in a really, really nice way. I kind of just killed it all with kindness, where I was like, hey, how you doing? Hope you're doing as well as can be. This is JFOD. I'm a comedian. I'm not a call from uprising. I promise. Here's some information about me. And then I gave him a link to their...
That's what you would say.
Yeah, I guess. But I sent him a link to my newsletter and my podcast. I was trying to like convert them over into like people that would be into my content instead of this like really kind of like, it really is rabbit hole stuff that this guy does. And it is kind of funny because I'm looking at his stuff and then I'm looking at the segments of mine from Redacted that I'm re-uploading. And it's like, I guess in a way it's only a few steps removed. Like a clip I recently uploaded was about how, and it is true, about how, the DOD and the Pentagon like all of this through a Freedom of Information of Act request that these two professors these two UK professors got. They looked through and they got all of these documents that show how much like the DOD is involved in Hollywood and how much they kind of like asked to adapt different scripts in order to get access for equipment and all sorts of stuff. And there is this huge rabbit hole there. But that one's like a real rabbit hole. You know what I mean? And then
it's Johnny, time for lunch. Yeah, Mom, hold on. I'm rating all the YouTubes. Oh, fuck. All right, bring the flashlight.
No, it's like that's backed up by sources. So it's like it's fucked up because, like, for example, the last segment that I did for Redacted Tonight, that without question, I think I was already ramping up, but it definitely contributed to me kind of getting manic was about this Reuters report. Reuters, one of our main investigative journalists, investigative outlets, Reuters and AP, the big news wires. Their investigative wing, they found out that NSA operatives and other intelligence agency operatives were working for the United Arab Emirates as mercenaries under something called Project Raven in order to, and using our newest spy tool called Karma in order to hack people's phones in order to spy on human rights activists to help the monarchy, and American citizens' information got collected, right? So I did that story based on Reuters reporting, right? Nobody in the mainstream media covered it. I got really paranoid that the NSA was going to be after me. It contributed to me really, really spinning out. You know what I mean? But that is a real fucking story. But then, you know, you got a call for an uprising talking about, you know, coronavirus being created. So it's like, I guess I'm just thinking of this now. I guess we're not in the same sandbox, but we're in the same ballpark, I guess. I don't know.
I feel weird because as you were talking, I turned into Jesus.
Yeah.
Fucking, it's fucking trippy.
But what I really do want to say is, you know how we were talking about the Panama Papers and it really did spin me out. I'm really happy that I have enough tools in place in terms of, like, for me, traditional things like medication and lifestyle things in terms of kind of like, meditation, sleep pattern, talk therapy, people to talk to, that I was able to really kind of like talk this out and do all of these things. And I saw myself potentially, you know, spinning out and having trouble sleeping because of dots I was connecting from this Panama Papers stuff that could have potentially made me sick or like fall into a manic, like spin out into a manic state. And I was able to kind of push through it and get my sleep back on track and nip it in the bud. And that's a testament to me having like a plan in place to stay well. And so I'm pretty proud of that.
I think we should call this episode "Having Trouble Sleeping."
Okay, look, if you're having trouble sleeping, all you got to do is watch the Panama Papers, then chase that down with the 9/11 Commission report. Check out some A Call for an Uprising, Christian Warrior conspiracy theory videos. Top that down with this NSA video I did recently repost, this whole DOD Hollywood collaboration. Then there's also how the U.S. has become the world's second largest tax shelter. So there's that. And then also just do like 15 minutes of yoga.
JFOD, let me say this. You can call anytime if you're feeling down, whatever, okay?
Oh, thanks.
Just make sure your microphone is hooked up and that you know we're gonna press record.
Yeah. I thought, Keith, you mean I can call Chemda whenever I want? Is that what you were?
You have Chemda's number. You know where Andrew's at. All that there. Get the help you need, buddy. All right, you can follow JFOD on Twitter and Instagram at The Real JFOD. The podcast, go to takeyourpillspod.com. You want a stand-up special? Okay, go to jfodcomedyspecial.com. You want to see what's the deal with live shows? Livefromouterspace.com. I got it all. The guy's he's got to get away from his mom. Wants her approval, but has to hide in his room. He has a lot of projects. Check them all out.
Thanks, man. Can I say something?
Please.
First of all, I probably should consolidate everything to one website, but thank you for mentioning all four. But there's another one. The thing that I really want, I'm hoping to keep building and have people connect with me is by joining my newsletter at jfodnews.com. So yeah, it's a great way to stay connected to me. You find out about stuff with the podcast, you get new stories all the time and, exclusive content. So yeah, jfodnews.com.
I could have sworn I never went to jfodnews.com, but I am on the mailing list.
Yeah.
Something's trying to find me. This is why I think the world is made for me, because I've been reading his newsletter and it's just infiltrating my mind and my thought patterns.
Well,
So
you
if I sound
manifested yourself onto that newsletter.
yes, I did. Yes, I did. Everything that happens because the reason that I do it, because I am it.
And it's possible maybe I grandfathered in some friends and family onto that newsletter, and maybe some emails collected from downloads of my album back in the day. Maybe that did happen. And maybe I've been on the Keith and the Girl mailing list for 10 years, so it seems to be fair.
People go, "What did you do today, Keith?" I'm like, "I don't know. Manifested a crazy person's newsletter, I guess."
But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with the podcast. I just did a 2-part about someone with borderline personality disorder, my friend Jen. That was really interesting, and it's like we're using comedy to kind of destigmatize mental health issues, just to push back against the onslaught of hate that Keith is pushing out.
Sure, but let me say this, please, real quick, just unless there's any confusion by the words I'm hearing. You know that laughter really isn't the best medicine, right? Okay, just checking. Okay, use the ones with words on them. Okay. Now, a good story is a good fucking story.
Well, it's no Lysol.
Nothing better than a solid punchline and callback. But just so you know, the actual pills with the label, those are the best medicine.
Yes, Keith, I know that is like a figurative thing. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I know you know. We all knew. Just for those who don't know. And could you take one in front of me now?
I fucking hate the tone of your voice so much.
Well, there's no time, but I'm going to have to try. All right. Thanks, everybody. Check out VIP. There's so much stuff there. You're going to love it. We'll talk to you soon.